A River by A.K. Ramanujan describes how poets of the past and present have romanticized a river in Madurai. The poem begins with the speaker stating that every year every poet sings the same songs about the sometimes flooding and sometimes empty riverbed. When it is empty, all its hidden items are exposed. Madurai is a city of temples and poets. The poets living in the city write poems about cities and temples. Their poems also contain accounts of how every summer a river flowing through Madurai is reduced to a narrow stream and how soon afterwards it is flooded with the river of the rains. When it is reduced to a narrow stream, its water cannot pass through the water gates because of the piles of straw and women's hair which obstruct its flow. The bridges over this river are marked with many patches of repair. Those stones of the bridges which become wet begin to glisten or shine, while the dry stones retain their original dull color. The poets merely write poems about the floods in this river. A visitor once happened to spend one day in Madurai when a flood in the river was imminent. He heard people everywhere talking about the level of the water rising quickly. The people talked about the water rising over the steps leading to the river and the water rising on the bathing places. He also heard people talking about the flood waters sweeping away three village homes, one pregnant woman, and a couple of cows almost every year. The new poets of the city merely quoted the lines composed by the old ones about the floods. But no new poet wrote anything about the pregnant woman who had been drowned in the flood. The pregnant woman perhaps carried two babies in her womb, and she had even perhaps felt the two babies kicking against the walls of her womb before they could come into this world. The visitor said that there was enough water in the river to inspire poets to compose poems, though only once in a year. He also said that in the very first half hour, the flood carried away three village houses, a couple of cows named Gobi and Brinda, and one pregnant woman expecting to give birth to twins with no moles on their bodies, and therefore with nothing to enable anybody to differentiate between them after their birth.